In this video, we have 4 Townhall 11 attacks for you. The first 3 are going to be 3 of the most powerful attacks for you to use at Townhall 11, the P.E.K.K.A. Bobat, the Queen Charge Lalo, and the Electro Dragons. We will then finish up with a Townhall 11 versus maxed out Townhall 12 3-star. You're not going to want to miss any of them. I will timestamp each of these attacks down in the pinned comments in case you want to fast forward or rewind to any one of them. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty guys, kicking off here with Joey of Toxic Rabbits. You can see 5 P.E.K.K.A.s alongside the Bowlers and the E-Drag as well, a fantastic troop for funneling. We then have 7 Bat spells and 2 freeze spells. So one thing you're going to have to consider if you are using the P.E.K.K.A. Bobat technique is that you can basically only input a couple of spells for the P.E.K.K.A.s and Bowlers. You need to be able to save majority of them for that bat wave. So you're going to have to look at the base design specifically to make sure you can do that. E-Drag makes a good start at the top. Quick reactions with a second wizard, or a third one I believe it was, over to the west to take out that Tesla. And look at the P.E.K.K.A. there. The P.E.K.K.A.s can be a fantastic funneling troop in themselves because they can basically wipe out multiple buildings no matter how deep they are on the edge of the base. But you've got to create that funnel. Here you can see on either side we've got it created so that the P.E.K.K.A.s and Bowlers then come in. The Bowlers, they like to walk, guys. You can see they got attracted to the Archer Tower, and with the best funneling in the world, we still have a couple of Bowlers walk around. So frustrating, but the majority of them are in there. We've got the 2 rage spells, we've got the P.E.K.K.A.s leading charge, taking a lot of the damage, and actually look at what Joey's got here. He's going to be taking out this entire area here. And what you've got, if we pause, is this little section around the outside where the defenses are held. And that is where the bats are going to move from here in a straight line through the defenses. We know exactly where they're going to go. They're not going to start splitting up anyway. That's what you need with the bats. You need to concentrate their fire. Keep them all together. They go from one defense to the next, and they just one-shot it. Look at this. Bang, it's down. Next one. Bang, it's down. That is what you need with the bats, and make sure you have the splash distracted, frozen, anything. They cannot take a fire from the wizard towers. Queen stepping up there. Proper MVP, taking it out right on the final shot for the bats to continue coming around the base and getting the job done. So make sure you can punch into the base with the P.E.K.K.A.s and Bowlers, create that nice funnel, get majority of it down, and you need to do that with only a couple of spells because you've then got to have the bats for the rest. Do consider your cleanup troops as well for after you've deployed the bats. Before we move to that Townhall 11 versus 12 triple, let's move through the other 2 Townhall 11 attacks. We now have Sam for now, getting it done with the Queen Charge. 5 healers for this one. That tends to mean that they are going a little bit deeper into the base, obviously more risk of losing them, and you can very easily lose your queen once she's in the center of the base if you're not careful. Only 1 hound, however, you can see that we have the Stone Slammer as well, which obviously acts as a bit of a hound in terms of distraction as well, and then you can have a hound pop out of it as well, or just reinforce with a lot of loons. Coming in with the balloons first and a baby drag to create that funnel, sneaks a couple of goblins onto the town hall. Yes, it does get the 2-star, but that's not necessarily the purpose. This is all about time. Think about Lava Loon. You can often time fail. The town hall is a high HP building. It's out the way there. Just pop a goblin or 2 onto it to get that done. Funnel is created and the queen is going to walk down and into the base here when the jump spell is deployed. If you are new to the channel, guys, be sure to subscribe for all of my Clash of Clans content and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out. You can see there that the air defense does pick off the healers a little bit, exactly why we've got the 5th, and gets a little bit scary here as well because the queen we all know she doesn't quite like to do what we want her to do. So there goes another healer to the black bomb. Now we know we only have 3 healers. That is why it can be important to take the extra ones depending on the role of the queen. Clearly, after the eagle, we want the queen to go to the queen and the CC. No, he's drawn to the king and to the Teslas. Even when we take down this area, we start the Lalo now. Otherwise, we could run out of time. Look. Oh. I'm going to go on the outside of the base just to fake you. Then she comes back in, finally does what we want her to do. But now Sam has taken out this entire area of the base. You can see that the Lalo will come in from the top behind the sweeper. Not going to do anything really. Might push the odd balloon back, but we're on top of that quicker than it can do any damage. And look at this, guys. This is now crushed. There's no way that Sam is not getting this done. We've still got Warden ability. We've still got a haste spell, a rage spell. We do have the wizard tower on the back end. You guys know if you're coming to a splash damage, there's even another one here, look. If you're coming to a splash damage defense at the end, with the best will in the world, your balloons will clump up. So you've got to have a plan. You can surgically deploy another couple of loons to distract it. In this case, we use the Warden ability, and then we have the rage spell for the other one as well. Guys, all of these attacks are by Toxic Rabbits in their CWL Rising matchup against Indian Warriors. Indian Warriors did get the victory on this one. It was a super close war, guys. But if you're interested in joining us at Toxic Rabbits, check out my Discord. It's linked down in the description of the video, and from there you can see the Discord servers of all of the different clans I cover, so that you can try out for any one of them, as long as you meet the requirements. Let's move on to the third attack before we then bring you to the Townhall 11 versus 12. We now have Beast getting it done with the mass E-Drags. Why do the Electro Dragons work? You've seen a little bit of this attack at the start of the video, but basically, guys, you've got to have a base where you can maximize the chain value. And look at the end of the base here. It is incredible for E-Drags. This base will allow you to chain from one defense straight through to the next. Now, the reason we come in from the top is pretty simple. We have the 2 air sweepers pointing this way and this way. They are a nightmare for the E-Drags. You're going to have to freeze them, in fact. Granted, you could freeze both of them here, in fact, with the Eagle, but irrelevant. We come in from the opposite side and we can get the chain value this way, precisely through all of them defenses. Actually get out of the way of this air defense. We could chain down to take that out before ever being in range of it. Let's just get into the attack, guys. You've seen this on my channel before as well. The Queen walk into the Electro Dragons. So, with the E-Drags, you need to be picking the bases where you can get the chain value. But the reason they work as well is when they work in numbers. What you do not want is one E-Drag sitting by itself and basically them all splitting up. Now, the Queen walk basically takes out all of the buildings here. You can actually see as well, we've got this gap within the base which creates a natural funnel for the E-Drags to come straight down here. So all of this section, the E-Drags are not going to go to. Again, make sure you're looking at that with the base. The Slammer, we've mentioned for a number of attack strategies, but it can be fantastic to keep the E-Drags where you want. Here we go, guys. Look at the chain value of the E-Drags. Wow. Before you know it, all of them defenses are gone. Fantastic identification by Beast in order to get this attack done. Very powerful, and that is exactly what you aim to do with your attacks. Even if you make some mistakes, if you select the absolute right strategy for the base, you'll get it done a lot easier, and that is obviously massively important when we move on to the next one, the Townhall 11 versus Townhall 12. A lot of people ask within the Clan War leagues and the in-game, how do you attack higher? And a lot of the time, it is the best strategy for the best base, but it is also being realistic with what you can reach and what you can actually take out. But you can do it with the right strategy. So let's move on to the 11 versus 12 triple. Alrighty, guys, here we go. A Townhall 11 versus a maxed Townhall 12, and getting it done. The 3 stars. and it was with the mass bowlers, guys. Now check out the base design here. You can see that we've got this very tightly compact area in the middle, which is what makes this ideal. If we pause for a brief second, you can see that the bowlers get fantastic value bouncing through the base. Not only that, once we've got them into the core, they can bounce to the outside of the base incredibly easily, and they can also basically bounce onto these defenses so easily from the center of the base in order to get this done. Jump spells are used to provide access through the base, and the rage spells were used early on. I mean, with any bowler attack, you do want to use the rage spells early, try and just maximize that DPS, get the defenses down. Obviously, in this case, using them early because we weren't expecting the 3-star. Obviously, don't go in attacking Townhall 12s expecting to 3-star as a Townhall 11, but this will show to you that even a maxed out base, you can get it done. It is purely down to base design though, the right army at the right time, the right deployment. You can see we get a good group of bowlers come over this side with a healer. Meanwhile, the Queen takes a walk around the other side of the base in order to help out. But again, from the center of the base, that huge push with the bowlers managed to get that done and basically take out all of the high damage buildings. Now we've just got point defense on the outside, and the Queen and bowlers are going to pinch around to get this done. Massive shout out to Firebird for dropping me a line, inviting me to the clan in order to showcase this as well. Always nice to showcase things like this. Townhall 11 versus Townhall 12. Again, it is possible, guys. It's just incredibly difficult. Let me know down in the comments if you have seen anything like this before. But that is going to wrap it up for this one, guys. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you want to see more Townhall 11 attacks, I've got a video on your screen right now. I'd go and check that one out. But until next time, peace out.